So they got all these partnerships. Microsoft doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what are you going to say?
I like how Puertorock decided to leave the conversation because he knew that I was going to body him in that statement. Now Reforge Gaming is going to get thrown into the fire. So what do you have to say, Reforge, about all this?
Well, I was going to say, PlayStation is changing, and there's such a lack of nuance and specificity.
Oh, here we go with the capping already. You know, using these big words. You know, he trying to confuse everybody, man. Calm down, bro. You hear this dude out here using these big words so you guys don't know what's actually going on here, man. PlayStation is doing the same thing Xbox is doing. Ain't nobody want to hear the excuses, but go ahead, Reforge.
Actually analyzes how they're changing. They just say, oh, they're doing what Xbox is doing. It's like, no, actually, let's just take what...
Are you serious? Microsoft was one of the first to put their games on PC. And what do you think Sony's doing, Reforge Gaming? They doing the same exact thing. The only thing that is different, that they're two different companies doing the same thing, bro. You know what, man? This dude he has made it official, bro. Is this what these guys are doing? Is this the pony allegiance that you guys was telling me about that's going on here, bro? Like, are these people supposed to make some form of an impact in this community talking like this? Oh, here we go again.
Says about how, you know, the console market is stagnant, it's not growing. Okay, PlayStation has acknowledged that reality, and they have very specific efforts in order to get new users to their console market. If you look at the China Hero project,
what are you talking about?
Market. Shuhei just talked about this. Shu just talked about this. He talked about how they're trying to get into a market where console is weak. So
what are you talking about, bruh? Because in China, they don't care about PlayStations. They don't even have access to them. What are you talking about, bro? Oh, it's going to make them people pick up a PlayStation 5. They don't want one. The reason why Sony is catering to that market, because that's a huge market that they can continue to make money on, which they all play on PC. Look at how this dude's trying to spin this whole narrative like, oh, we're not doing the same thing as Xbox.
Big presence in China. So Lost Soul aside, will hit PC and PlayStation day and date. So that's a very specific targeted strike.
Oh, really? What about Until Dawn Remake? What about Concord? What about all these other day and date games that have dropped on PC simultaneously with the PlayStation 5 release? Bro, it's official, bro. Cut the cap. Oh, it's because they try to put it in China, you know. They don't really have PS5s over there, and they never will. They're going to continue to play PlayStation games through PC. It is what it is, bro, which also means that we're going to get access to the same games on PC. Because if they're going straight for that demographic, then everybody else around it is also going to benefit from it. Are they just making these games exclusively to PC in China? Bro, I'm done. I know y'all laughing in this comment. This is unbelievable. The fact that you really think that Sony's not doing the same thing Microsoft did last generation. This is crazy.
Saying we're going to go into a market where we do not have a presence. We're going to intentionally publish on both PC and PlayStation. That is a change for PlayStation.
But you just said it's going to make them want to pick up a PS5. Why would any of them want to pick up a PS5 if they're building their catalog of PlayStation games in China on PC? You know what, man? I don't know how many times I got to continue to break this down for y'all, but him using big words to try to confuse y'all, he ain't confusing nobody but himself.
You don't have the nuance. If you don't like dial into what they're trying to do, you're just gonna say, "Oh, they're doing what Xbox is doing. They're going day and date." And it's like, no. This is a very
they're going day and date. Here we go again, man. The capping continues. What are you talking about, bro? Until Dawn Remake. What about all these other games that drop day and date on PC? Helldivers 2, another example. I don't think people in China are really playing those games. You guys just don't want to admit that Sony has gone multi-platform. Y'all still holding on to the concept of exclusivities. Like I said, if you want to continue to do that, go pick up a Nintendo Switch 2 because PlayStation will not be the place where you guys talk about exclusives, considering that y'all don't buy them anyway.
Specific effort that will likely also evolve and change over time if they can get...
Oh yeah, just like when Xbox putting games on PS5 and how they believe that that's going to change over time, but then you sit there and say they're going full third party. Oh, that's funny. You know, you people ain't nothing but a bunch of hypocrites, bro. Y'all want to sit there and act like, oh, we see what Sony's doing by putting games on PC, but y'all don't want to see the same logic of what Microsoft's doing. Not realizing that they single-handedly taking over your own ecosystem. Why do you think their games are trending and yours aren't? You big dummy.
Saturation in that market and get a lot of people buying it. Maybe Lost Soul Aside has a sequel that hits PlayStation first.
Oh, here we go. You think they're going to do that? If that game is popular in China, you really think they're going to do that? I don't think Sony's going to do that. They're going to continue to make the sequel for the PC as well as the PlayStation 5, bro. That goes against your argument. I thought before, oh, we value our single-player experiences. You know, those are the games that we cherish. We don't care about the multiplayer ones that go day and date. And just for Sony to go double back on that statement to do exactly what they said they weren't going to do. It's so funny that you guys are quick to point Microsoft out in these equations, but you're not quick to do the same thing with PlayStation. Ain't nobody arguing that Microsoft ain't doing the same thing. We know that. But for you guys to be in delusional mode, where you'll think that Sony's not doing the same thing Xbox is doing, which is kind of funny because Xbox did this during the whole last generation with the Xbox One, and look what happened with that. So we don't want to hear you people running your mouths ever again, please.
Because they're going to want to try to coax those people over. And they're also doing the exact same
Now, how
thing.
are you going to do that if you're building your catalog of PlayStation games on PC? What's going to make those people in China, bro? They don't even care enough to have access to a PS5, bro. What do you don't understand? Like, you know, it's like you guys say that nobody else is getting it, but it seems like the only people that ain't getting it is you.
With their India hero.
That's why Puertorock's like, I'm just going to let you talk, man. I'm not embarrassing myself in my own pocket. Reforge Gaming, you going out bad, bro.
Project, those titles are hitting PC and PlayStation day and date. It's like, where is this analysis? Where are we getting this from? Any of the major gaming outlets? Are they breaking this down? Are they diving into this and saying like, oh, here's how PlayStation's strategy shifting to get new users? Because is anybody answering that question? How is PlayStation getting new users? How are they doing it? How did 42% of the people who bought a PS5 last quarter are new? And
are we going to really act surprised? Because the majority of them are playing Fortnite. They're playing third-party games. They're casual. They don't care for your little exclusive argument. And this is what people have been telling you for the past few years already, bruh. Like, it's so funny that we call this man Jimmy Neutron, but he's not even as smart as him. You know what I mean? This dude is stuck on sodium chloride mode, as far as I'm concerned.
2023... Yeah, where did they come from? In 2023...
Man's whole brain is built out of a salt mine of sodium chloride.
They said that a third...
With no french fries.
1/3 of the user base didn't have a PS4. Where did these people come from?
Bruh, are we going to sit there and act like we don't know what type of games these people are playing? Come on, man. This just goes to show you that you don't know what the market is. Oh, where were these people before? I don't understand. They just came out of nowhere, and they, you know, I don't know. Maybe the same ones playing Roblox and Fortnite. You ever gave that any sort of thought or consideration, or you just thought it was really about exclusives, huh?
It's like, well, we're not getting that analysis. No, nobody's looking at this and trying to figure out like where they came from or is PlayStation strategies working. We just get this platitudinous nonsense where it's like, well, yeah, they're doing what Xbox is doing. It's like they are not doing what Xbox is doing.
You gotta be kidding me. Putting games on another platform that is not even made or manufactured by Sony is the definition of doing the same thing that Xbox is doing. Xbox was putting games on PC during the Xbox One generation, and you're gonna sit there and complain and argue and say that Sony is not doing the same thing Xbox is doing. This is copium at its finest, bro. I don't know how you guys continue to follow channels like this when they are out here single-handedly lying to you at this point. There's nothing authentic or authenticity about what these people are doing here. That's why Puertorock is staying silent. He knows whoever is gonna, man, people are gonna address this video. Let's just make it like, you really gonna sit there and say that PlayStation is not doing the same thing that Microsoft is doing when we're talking about Lost Soul Aside, a game that they're funding is going day and day, a single player game too, mind you, day and date on its PC counterpart. And you're going to sit there and say that Sony's not doing the same thing. Okay.
They're completely different approaches.
Completely different approaches. Bro, I don't even know what to say anymore, man. This man is delusional, bro. Like, I mean, Puertorock ain't even chiming in, man. I can't wait to see what he counters with because he's like, I'm not embarrassing myself like this, Reforge. you don't know what you're talking about here, buddy.
Nintendo's approach is, we'll sell you cardboard. Like, Nintendo doesn't care. Like,
what? Bruh. He's losing it, bro. This man, somebody from the PlayStation, even Puertorock knows he's about to laugh. He realizes how stupid you sound after you just made that statement. Nintendo ain't been selling cardboard since Nintendo Labo, and I get it. I understand the joke because I ran with it. Okay, we get that, right? But even Nintendo's Labo outsold most of your exclusives, though. What do you want to talk about? Nintendo made more money off cardboard than Sony did off making video games for their community. Now, that's pretty embarrassing if you ask me. Let's hear that again.
Are not doing what Xbox is doing. They're completely different approaches.
You hear that, Nintendo gamers?
Nintendo's approach is, we'll sell you cardboard. Like, Nintendo doesn't care. Like, they...
Don't tell me you nodding your head in agreement, bruh. You hear that, Nintendo gamers? You hear that? They thinking y'all playing cardboard. You hear that? I didn't say nothing. This is what these ponies think about you. You guys are bad for gaming. What are you talking about? Nintendo Switch has more online games than you. Nintendo Switch has more people that buy their hardware than you. Nintendo Switch has people that buy a Switch specifically for Nintendo's games while you don't on PlayStation. How could you make that comparison, buddy? How could you make that? How dare you think you have the audacity to talk crap about Nintendo Switch owners playing on cardboard when y'all don't even buy your own games? This is ridiculous, bro. Y'all think I'm the problem in this community for calling this behavior out?
Will literally do whatever they want, and people will buy it.
If you even tried to tell them that they're different, they will sue you.
That's right.
Yeah, and they also, PlayStation has, Korean developers. They're moving into that market, and now they just started. Not started, but I think last year they mentioned they're looking into the African market. They understand that the African continent is a challenge for them to get consoles because they always have to import it. And
what you don't understand, which is also PC gaming. They're trying to take a market that hasn't really been tapped into because they probably don't believe in the concept of a console, right? But PCs all over the world. You guys don't want to admit PC is taking over, bruh. Y'all don't want to admit it. You got to understand, man. Console gaming, as much as I love and enjoy it, we have plateaued. Y'all want to sit there and talk about, oh, gaming is bigger than life, is bigger than anything. Bro, we've been hearing about 100 million sales since PlayStation 1. When are we going to hear about the days of a console that sells 500 million or 800 million? We got billions of phones in the world, but yet only people pick up a PlayStation for 100 million. Worldwide, 150 million. Even the best-selling consoles. Nintendo Switch even, 150 million worldwide. You have to ask yourself, like, yeah, Gabe said that's kind of true because where has the console gaming market grown? It has become stagnant. It's become the same. Y'all don't want to admit this because for you guys to say that the console gaming market has been improving over the past 30 years of it going on, then we should be talking about Nintendo Switch hitting 400 million, 800 million Nintendo Switches out there. At the end of the day, gaming, as popular as it's become, is still very much niche. Compare that to all the people in the world and you're like, damn, nobody really be playing games like that. And on top of that, they don't play the games that you want. They're playing the particular games, the Fortnite. You guys know what I'm saying, right? So that shows you that console gaming has plateaued. There's more PCs out there than there's consoles, which also means that there's an untapped market, like what you said, Puertorock in Africa, where they can continue to make money off. And I'm telling you, Nintendo will shift towards mobile gaming at some point, just not right now.
Very expensive.
I'm telling y'all.
So they might even look into manufacturing consoles.
I know how I brought that up. People are going to sit there and hit the realization like, Gamester, you right, man. We always talk about the Wii selling 100 mil, but I've never heard of a console selling 400, 500 mil, 800 mil. You will never hear about that on a console, right? As popular as we want to sit there and say consoles is, PlayStations are still selling like how they've always done. 80, 90, 100 mil, Nintendo Wii, 100 mil, but it never has gone past that. Like, if you notice that, it's never gone past 300, 400 million because gaming is not as popular as you people think it is.
Africa. to get it cheaper.
And what's even more funny about that, most consoles, well, in some other countries, they're more expensive than others in comparison to PC. There's just a lot of different factors. And on top of that, maybe they don't see the appeal of it.
Or that's how you grow the market. Like, if there's a whole lot of places, a whole lot of countries where the only way they can get access to a console is by importing and it's very expensive, you're not going to get a lot of people in that country to buy it because they got to have the money.
That's why in China, that's why Sony is focusing on the PC market. But yet y'all want to sit there and say that that's completely different than what Microsoft is doing.
What if you focus on them and you're like, you know what? We're going to strategize in this market and we're going to grow this market and we're going to try to figure out ways to get our product into that market easily.
Sounds like multi-plat.
That's how you grow the... And you know, Microsoft's not doing that.
Bruh. You know what? Y'all like games to come on, man. Please, hold me back, man. I had to take my glasses off for this. Did you just say Microsoft? Hold on. We're having an argument about Microsoft's not doing this. Sony's not doing the same thing Microsoft's doing, right? And you're going to go as far to say that Microsoft's not doing that. How is Microsoft not doing that? They did it before you did, you dummy. Microsoft is doing everything that Sony's doing before you did, and you're going to sit there and say, oh, Microsoft ain't doing it. Are you serious, man? Like I said, like Snoop Dogg said, two dummies in a podcast.
We're going to strategize in this market, and we're going to grow this market, and we're going to try to figure out ways to get our product into that market easily. That's how you grow the... And you know, Microsoft's not doing that.
Bro, hold on. I don't even want to say that.
We're going to strategize in this market, and we're going to grow this market, and we're going to try to figure out ways to get our product into that market easily.
And that's what Microsoft is doing with PlayStation, but go ahead.
That's how you grow the... And you know, Microsoft's...
You heard he's like, that's how you grow, and then he changed it.
They're not trying to expand into Africa, India. No, they're not. They don't have a plan like that.
Well, no, because they're expanding on to PlayStation. That's what they're doing.
They don't have their own China Hero project to get Xbox hardware and stuff like that. So that's a very good point.
But we're not talking about hardware. Getting that product is by any means necessary on whatever platforms or whatever devices they have. Microsoft is doing that. Maybe they're not targeting that specific market like what Sony's trying to do with China, but yet again, Microsoft has done that first.
You know,
not completely first, but as of right now, as they're the ones that have really been pushing heavily for that.
But I think some people were riding on Xbox so hard, meaning, you know, they were cheering for Xbox because everybody wants to cheer the underdog, right? Everybody hates the you know, everything but the console.
And what do you think Sony's decisions is? Sony's decisions is doing anything besides the console by trying to shift to other markets of other devices that these markets have, which is probably more likely PC. What do you think they're doing? How is that? You know what's funny? How does that favoritize the console, like you guys like to say? It doesn't, does it? Exactly. And that's why you have no games to play.
They even release commercials that says no console required. Like, who thought of that? Like,
and what do you think Sony is doing by essentially saying we're giving the Chinese market all these games day and date with the PC and the PS5 platform? Where you're benefiting? Explain to me. You're getting the same game, right? But to explain to me where this whole you owning the PS5 is making you benefit more than what they're doing for the PC. You can't. Explain with the exclusivities. It's giving this special feeling to it. I don't know. This is why we have pony dust. That's why that term exists. Because you gotta be on something to think like this.
Who got six figures? Who got paid $250,000? Came up with that marketing strategy and they got approved. Because if I was working at that company, I would fire the dude. Like, say,
if you was working at Sony, Sony would be going under.
Anything but no console required. Say you can expand your gaming experience.
Well, it doesn't matter. It's the same thing. At least Microsoft's up front with it, while Sony gotta lie to you talking about we care about exclusives. You know what I'm saying? What do you think Sony's doing? This man literally had a whole documentary talking about how Sony's expanding, but they ain't doing the same thing Xbox is doing. Even though in China, you don't need no PS5 required to play PlayStation 5 games. No PS5 required.
Like, say something else, like PlayStation. PlayStation has, cloud, but they're not telling people no console required. They're not going to say
Right.
Well, they don't need to tell you because people in China know that. They know they don't need a PS5 to play your games. Come on, man.
That doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
What doesn't make sense is the fact that Sony is using a rules and you people still keep falling for it. That's what doesn't make sense. What doesn't make sense is the fact that you can't see that Sony is going in the same direction as Xbox, but y'all want to still believe in the term of exclusivity. Bro, this is ridiculous, bro. Grow up.
I talked about this recently. I said that like Xbox is once again going after the non-gamer, which I think is a huge mistake. So during the 360 era,
What do you mean by the non-gamer? But yet you just said that Sony's trying to target the African market that never even cared about importing a console from a PlayStation 5 because of how expensive it was. Which would also mean that they were a non-gamer at that point before the time they decided for Sony to go to that market. Bro, hold on. Moment of silence. Is this what we're doing, guys? Really? Really? I mean, China was a non-gaming market until they decided to put PlayStation games on what? PC. You know what? I'm going to have to go buy me a banana costume and wear it. I don't know. Y'all got me going crazy, man. If I got to dress up as a banana for you guys to understand what's going on here, then I don't know what to tell y'all no more.
Going after the gamer. They're getting exclusives. They Xbox Live, Xbox Arcade, achievements. They're innovating things for gamers. And then Xbox One comes out, and they're like, well, let's go after non-gamers. And a lot of this, I think, came from executives.
I mean, what do you think the PlayStation 2 was? What do you think that targeted when they added a DVD player? Why did it have one? Isn't that targeting non-gamers? I thought it was a gaming console. Why do I need a DVD player and a PS2? Isn't that targeting non-gamers? Let's also talk about the PS3. Look, we can go through history. Let's talk about the PS3 having a Blu-ray player and how Sony was trying to sell that to the audience as getting a game console and a Blu-ray player all in one combo for $600. Why would I need a Blu-ray player if it's a gaming console? You know what, man? This is what I'm saying, man. Then the Dreamcast should have been successful because that was a gaming console, and the PS2 wasn't because it was a multimedia console that could play games. Which is also very funny because that same strategy came from what, guys? I'm going to question y'all right now. I bet y'all don't even know. The 3DO and Sega. Sega and the 3DO, remember when the 3DO was trying to be more than just a gaming console in your living room? That was the vision that 3DO had. And now, if you notice, y'all want to sit there and say it was a failure back then. Yeah, maybe because of the time frame and all that and how expensive it was. But that vision is very similar to what we're seeing now. A device that could do multiple things. Why do you think phones are popular? Because they're devices that could do multitude of things. Listen to music, go on the internet, do all these other things, watch Netflix. I can play games on it even. What do y'all don't understand? I can't.
So yeah, I think a lot of people criticize for Microsoft. I think the recent interview with Bobby Kotick, he told Phil
that's as good as possible. And a secondary hope is that
we're barely even done with this, man. We're barely even done with this, and they still capping.
The people play it. If you're only trying to make a game that it gets as many players as possible, that's a trend chase. That's when you get like Kill the Justice League. That's when you get this.
So Sony ain't trend chasing too? They see that Chinese is a huge market, so they're not putting game. Bro, I can't, bro. I didn't really think they were going to cap this early in this video, but this is what happens when you have two ponies drinking the same water. It's pollution.
Live service slop where it's like we're just trying to get a lot of people to play our game. So what he does is very sinister. It's like it's an 8-minute clip, but then people just read the description of the clip. We don't go that far. We don't make it about family. And I said, listen, you are making it about my family. Like, this is how I pay my bills. This is how I earn a living.
Oh, here we go again. Are you still upset about this, bruh? This is all it is. You see? You heard when he said, oh, it's for my family. This is how I pay my bills. Y'all jeopardizing my career. You jeopardizing your own stuff. You're getting upset because people want to sit there and chime in about as to what's going on. The same people you talk about every day got families too. What do you think you're doing by talking poorly about Xbox? Making the Xbox fail? What do you think they doing? Phil Spencer, that's my job. That's my family. Y'all ain't making me buy. They ain't buying Xboxes. Even though this is just for jokes. because of y'all, because y'all talking bad about the Xbox. I got a family. I'm a CEO. I lose my job. It's gonna affect me and my family. You hear this, fool? Let's hear this again.
These guys will say, "Oh, we don't go that far. We don't make it about family." And I said, "Listen, you are making it about my family. Like, this is how I pay my bills." This is
how do you think Phil Spencer pays his bills? How do you think Yoshida and all those dudes pay their bills when you out here bashing platforms? Bro, shut up. You think people want to hear this?
That's how I earn a living.
When studios are shutting down, and instead of you guys coming together and saying that's not right, y'all be, ha, Xbox lost the studio. Ha, Sony lost the studio. Last time I checked, they had families and jobs too. Man, shut up. I know he's going to really anger a lot of people with that comment, bro. You're going to really irritate a lot of people with that because that also goes back to what you be doing on your channel.
That's simply telling people that I'm a fraud, a liar, a grifter, I'm a tabloid.
These are things that you're doing in this community. And you getting mad because people calling you out for it?
That's a new one that I'm getting called now, tabloid.
Y'all got to let me know if y'all want a part 3 because I got no problem making a part 3.
This
is crazy.
You're messing now. Right, it was like in that movie Made. He's like, you're messing with my money now. Like,
so this is what it's about. What do you mean messing with your money? You got more money. Like all this because Xbox better? Are you serious? You talk about, hey, they messing with my money. They paid you money to say it. What are you?
That's serious. Yeah, you're telling people
this definitely
like they shouldn't watch me, they shouldn't trust me. It's like, we're not.
Oh, really? Just like you tell people they shouldn't buy an Xbox and they're not trustworthy because they're not good for you. Right, you know what, man? Bro, go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm not having a disagreement now.
Go ahead.
A disagreement would be, you said this, I don't agree, here's my opinion.
That's what most people are doing.
Essentially just a version of like slander. It's like you're basically like, oh yeah.
All this because people said Xbox is better.
A fraud, pony, grifter, liar, tabloid. What you're doing there is you're trying to discredit me. You're trying to make it seem like, well, my brand and my show is not trustworthy. And I take that more seriously.
Well, that's funny because y'all do the same thing with Xbox and say their brand ain't trustworthy. And those people have jobs. Sarah Bond, they all got families that they got to go home to. So when you out here spreading this console war garbage, who you think you're impacting? Their brand. Ain't, you know what? Y'all like, yo, Gamester, you got him. I got him, man. But like I said, hopefully you guys enjoy this video. If you want a part 3 on this situation, I might even just do it. You know what I mean? I think it's quite entertaining. This is crazy, bro. Like, this man talking about how you impacted my family, my familia, you know, my brand. When that's all you be doing on your YouTube channel when you console war. Like I said, hopefully you guys enjoy this video, man. At the end of the day, take care. Peace out.